Some days are good and some years
Clean Getaway by Nick Stone. Chapter 10 Stays In. Scoob's so baffled by everything that when Gmal tries to continue the jewelry store conversation, like she didn't just try to steal from it, he rolls with it. "So why'd you do it?" she says. "Help people cheat." In truth, Scoob's been so indignant over the fact that he was the only person to get in trouble despite not actually cheating, he hasn't given this part much thought. Why did he show Cody how to change the score? It's not like Scoob didn't know exactly what Cody was planning to do. But could Scoob have said no? He guesses he could have, technically, but Cody is one of the most popular guys in school. Scoob has to admit he enjoyed all the smiles and head nods and fist pumps he got from his classmates during those 2 weeks. He felt cool, appreciated, something he certainly didn't feel at home. "I mean, it was nice feeling like people liked me again," he says. "After that fight with Bryce, it's almost everybody was scared to get too close. Like they thought I'd go all Bruce Leroy on someone at any moment." Gmal's bark laugh fills the RV, and Scoob smiles. She's the one who introduced him to the African-American karate master, though he has to admit the movies were kinda over the top. "Wild, ain't it?" she says, seeming suddenly sadder. "Huh? How easy it can be to do the wrong thing." Scoob doesn't respond to that, and she doesn't say anything more. He does, however, decide to pipe up when, at the next traffic light, she hangs a right instead of a left. "Not to question your sense of direction, Gmal, but shouldn't we be going the other way? I think the highway's behind us." To Scoob's surprise, Gmal sighs more heavily than he's ever heard her sigh before, and when she turns to him, her eyes are all mopey and full of sadness, which makes Scoob feel terrible. His throat gets tight and he looks out the window. "I just miss him, Scoob-a-Doob," Gmal says with a creak in her voice, like the rusted hinge of the old tool shed in her backyard he was never supposed to play in, but did all the time. "I miss him so darn much, and there's so many things I didn't do right." She eases to a stop at a red light and rotates her cotton-topped head in Scoob's direction. "Think you can indulge your old Gmal in a little nostalgia?" At the look on her face, all destitute, as Shanice would say in her grown woman voice, he's really starting to miss her. Scoob feels like cracks are forming all over him, and he's going to break into a jillion and one pieces like a smashed Lego tower. He feels like all the rules are flip-flopping just like they did last night when Gmal was talking in her sleep. He's the grown-up now, and she's a little kid needing a safe space to be sad, something she used to insist he needed. It's also strange hearing her ask his permission. "Of course, Gmal. We can go wherever you want." She nods just as the light changes, and within a few minutes, they're creeping at a snail's pace down a street lined with mostly boarded-up buildings. Reminds Scoob of something out of one of the forbidden-to-them horror flicks he, Shanice, and Drake used to watch on the iPad after the adults went to bed. He'd wind up sleeping in Dad's bed for 3 nights after. As he looked around him now, Scoob's mouth goes dry, and he gets a shiver down both his arms. He kinda wishes Dad were here. Gmal?" It's like she doesn't hear him. "I can't believe it," she whispers. "It's all gone. All of it." They continue down the road. 5th Street, Scoob notes as they pass a sign. Then Gmal pulls into a parallel parking spot. Once the RV is shut off, she covers her face with both hands and begins to quietly weep. Scoob has no earthly idea what he's supposed to do. All he knows is her grandma whimpers feel like stabs straight to the heart, and as much as he hates himself for it, Scoob starts to feel mad at her. For not telling him where they are, or where they're going. For bringing him here to this weird ghost town place with no explanation. for breaking down this way and putting him in this uncomfortable position. "I'm sorry, Scoop-Doob," she says, as if she can hear his thinking, which makes him feel even worse. "This place, the street." She crumples into whimpery sobs again. Scoob closes his eyes and takes one of the deep breaths Drake sometimes has to take when there's too much going on and he gets overwhelmed. Then he grabs the box of Kleenex, reaches across the space between the seats, and puts a hand on Gmaw's back. "Gmaw, it's going to be okay," he says. "We're going to be okay." She pulls a couple tissues, blows her nose like an elephant, then puts her baby blue eyes on his brown ones. Her chin is still quivering, but she smiles. "You're such a good egg, Jimmy. I'm the luckiest woman alive." Scoob gulps, and that nervous rock reappears in his gut, tripled in size. "I'm William, Gmaw. Scoob." She turns to look at him and squints for a sec. "Of course you are," she says. "You called me Jimmy again." "I did?" "Mm-hmm." "Oh." Her gaze drifts out the window, and they lapse back into that stuffy silence that makes Scoob itchy all over. Definitely nothing for him to say now. After a minute or two, he hears her sigh and say, "All right, Ruby Jean, pull it together. Grab a hold of these granny panties and buckle on up now." At this, Scoob chuckles. "Gross, Gmaw." "You hush," she says, removing her seatbelt and rotating her seat all the way around so it's facing the live-in part of the RV. "Whoa," Scoob says. "Didn't realize we could do that, huh? I'm going to pop into the little girl's room for just a moment, get back to myself. Then I'll tell you where we are, and we'll press on." She rocks a couple times in the seat, then pushes up to her full stature. Much more adorable than imposing, Scoob notes. The moment the bathroom door clicks closed, Gmaw's cell starts blaring from one of the cup holders, and a scowling face appears on the screen. Dad. Scoob freezes, heart thumping so fast in his ears it practically drowns out the sound of the phone. Should he answer it? What would he even say? Not 5 minutes ago, Scoob wanted Dad, but now that he's calling, what if Scoob answers and Dad starts going off the way he does? The ringing stops, and Scoob exhales. But then it starts up again. "Who's that?" Gmaw says, materializing, it seems, at Scoob's shoulder and reaching for the vibrating device. She startles him so bad, he instantly needs to go to the bathroom. The phone stops ringing as she brings it closer to her face to read the caller ID. Then immediately starts again. "Oh, that old sourpuss," she says. The phone goes silent, but Scoob has a hunch it's just going to ring again. "Maybe you should answer," he says, hardly believing the words are leaving his mouth. That's the 3rd time he's called in a row. And then there's all those times he called yesterday. Why is Gmaw acting so funny when it comes to Dad? And why is Scoob going all sweaty in the armpits? "So he can poo on our party?" Gmaw says. "Nuh-uh." She shakes her head. "No how, no way, no sir. We're on a mission, Scooby-Doob." Scoob feels like his heart is getting bigger with each beat, and will eventually explode from his chest as he watches her gnarled fingers hold the button on the side of the phone to shut it all the way off. She returns it to the cup holder. "I gotta pee," he blurts. "Well, get a move on, silly Billy." Gmaw checks her watch, then pulls the treasure box from his bag and sets it on the dining booth table, lifts the lid and reaches into her pocket, looks up at him. "Well, what you waiting for?" "Oh." As he scrambles up from his seat, she pulls a gold necklace with a small pendant from somewhere within the depths of the lacquered box and lays it neatly to the side. As Scoob passes, a pair of diamond earrings appear on the table as well. Pinkish ones. Eerily similar to the ones he last saw on the jewelry store counter after Gmaw removed them from her ears. It's nothing short of a miracle that the pea actually stays in.
Some days are good and some years are